let's be honest. When you hear the word champagne, what's the first thing you think of? Celebrations, right? That satisfying pop, the fizz, it's pure luxury in a glass. But, behind all that festive sparkle, there's this incredible story. It's a story about one very specific place on Earth, a really painstaking process, and a tradition that's actually changing all the time.
So, what is it that really makes champagne so special? I mean, how do those tiny, perfect little bubbles even get into the bottle in the first place? And where do those amazing flavors like fresh toast and citrus come from? Well, today we're going to uncork all those secrets.
You see, the story of champagne doesn't begin in a fancy cellar, or even with the grapes themselves. Nope. It starts way deeper, down in the soil of a very, very specific part of the world. Because when you're talking about champagne, it is all about the land. There's that famous saying, right? All champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne. And that's not just some legal mumbo-jumbo. To earn that name, a wine absolutely has to come from the Champagne region of France, which is this little area about 150 kilometers northeast of Paris. It's the very foundation of its identity. This place has what winemakers call a unique terroir, which is basically a perfect storm of conditions. The cold climate, it gives the grapes this super high acidity, which is the key to that fresh, crisp taste. And the soil? Oh, the soil is incredible. It's this chalky stuff made from ancient sea fossils, which is great for drainage and gives the wine its signature mineral flavor. You put it all together and you've got the perfect raw material for world-class bubbly. Okay, so you've got the perfect land. The next crucial ingredient, of course, is the grapes. And in champagne, it really boils down to a classic trilogy. Almost every single bottle of champagne is a blend of just 3 main varieties, and each one plays a vital role in the final symphony of flavors. This cellar master, the chef de cave, is basically a composer. They use Pinot Noir to bring the power, the body, kind of like the bass notes. Then you've got Chardonnay for that bright, elegant melody. And finally, Pinot Meunier adds these soft, fruity harmonies. Blending these 3 is a true art form, and the goal is always to create a perfectly balanced, complex champagne. So we have the place and we have the grapes. Now let's get into the process. This isn't just any old way of making sparkling wine. It's a complex, super time-consuming, and legally protected technique called the method champenoise. The real magic, the part that creates the bubbles, happens during that second fermentation. They take the still wine, add a tiny bit of sugar and yeast, and seal it up right inside the final bottle. As that yeast gets to work, it creates carbon dioxide, which has nowhere to go, so it gets trapped in the wine. It's literally like capturing lightning in a bottle. The rest of the process is all about refining that magic. Now, as the wine is aging in the bottle, those dead yeast cells, they're called lees, start to break down. This process has a fancy name, autolysis. But this isn't just some waste product. It's the yeast's final gift to the wine. This is where those incredible signature flavors of brioche, toast, and nuts are born. It's proof that in champagne, time is one of the most important ingredients. All right, now that you basically know how champagne is made, how do you pick out the right bottle for you? Well, the label is your best friend. It can tell you everything from the grapes they used to how sweet it is, so you can find a style that you are absolutely going to love. Let's start with 2 key terms you'll see a lot. Blanc de Blancs literally translates to white from whites. And just like it sounds, it's made with 100% Chardonnay grapes. Think elegant, crisp, and citrusy. On the other hand, you have Blanc de Noirs, or white from blacks. This one is made entirely from red grapes, like Pinot Noir. It's going to be richer, more powerful, with notes of red fruit. Totally different styles, from the exact same region. Okay, now for the sweetness level, which, I gotta warn you, can be a little counterintuitive. So after they get rid of the yeast, they add a tiny bit of sugar back in. That's called the dosage. The most common style you'll see is brut, which is pretty dry. But here's the curveball. Extra dry is actually a little sweeter than brut. I know, it's confusing. So if you want a bone-dry champagne, you're looking for brut or even brut nature. Champagne is absolutely steeped in tradition, but it's not a museum piece. It's a living, breathing thing, and it's facing some very modern challenges. From a changing climate to evolving tastes, the world of champagne is actually being forced to innovate. And right at the top of that list of challenges is climate change. I mean, no surprise there. Rising temperatures are making grapes ripen faster, and that can really mess with that delicate balance of sugar and acidity that is so crucial for champagne. So what are they doing? Winemakers are getting creative. They're harvesting earlier, they're farming more sustainably, and they're even testing out totally new grape varieties. And this is a revolutionary move for such a traditional place. The official Champagne Committee, the CIVC, has actually approved 7 new grape varieties for testing. We're talking about grapes like Valtis and Arbonne, which are tougher, more resistant to disease, and better suited to warmer weather. It's a huge sign that even the most historic industries are looking toward the future.
Which brings us to this really fascinating question, right? For a wine that's so deeply connected to its own history and tradition, how does it adapt to a changing world without losing its soul? The future of champagne isn't just about preserving the past. It's about innovating for what's next. And honestly, that's a story that's still being written, one harvest at a time.